The automotive world is in shock. Not the performative kind you see in comment sections, but the real kind. The kind where former executives break their silence, stock prices crater, and rival brands point at someone else's launch and say, "We told you so." Ferrari just revealed the Luce. It's their first ever fully electric car. And the reaction has been one of the most divided in modern automotive history. Before we get into it, a quick note. I want your honest opinion by the end of this video. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle? Drop it in the comments below. Now let's get into it. Ferrari is the most iconic automotive brand in the world. A brand whose engines don't just make noise, they make music. Spine-tingling, irrational, emotionally devastating music. That is Ferrari's DNA. It always has been. So when Ferrari announced it was building a fully electric car, the entire automotive world held its breath. The car is called the Luce. Luce means light in Italian. And here's the first thing that set the tone for the entire reveal. Ferrari didn't design it themselves. They brought in Johnny Ive and Mark Newson, the Apple designers behind the iPhone and much of Apple's product identity, to create the Luce from the ground up. The result is striking. The front has a sharp, futuristic, almost cyberpunk presence. The side profile draws comparisons to a Jaguar I-Pace, which, as we'll get to, is not the compliment Ferrari was probably hoping for. And the rear? The rear is where opinions stop being divided and start falling almost entirely on one side. But before most people had even fully processed what they were looking at, the criticism started coming, and it didn't come from internet commenters. It came from one of the most respected figures in Ferrari's history. Luca di Montezemolo was Ferrari's CEO for over 2 decades. He was there for the F40. He helped build Ferrari into one of the most valuable and emotionally resonant brands on the planet. When asked about the Luce, his response was immediately notable, not just for what he said, but for how he said it. "If I were to say what I really think, it would be unpleasant, so I prefer not to comment." And then he added, "I just hope someone removes the prancing horse from that car. We risk destroying a legend, which saddens me greatly." Pause on that for a moment. The man who shaped modern Ferrari, publicly saying he hopes Ferrari's own badge isn't on Ferrari's own car. That's not a lukewarm review. That's a warning shot. The reverberations didn't stop with Di Montezemolo. Lamborghini had previously announced plans for their own electric vehicle and then quietly walked it back. After watching the reaction to the Luce unfold, Lamborghini's CEO weighed in, essentially using Ferrari's launch as confirmation that delaying their EV was the right call. And Lamborghini isn't alone in that thinking. Pagani has scrapped its electric plans entirely. Lotus has pivoted back toward high-performance hybrids. Across the segment of brands built on emotion, noise, and driver connection, a quiet consensus is forming. Full electrification may not fit who they are. Ferrari's Luce launch has made that conversation louder. Now, the car itself. Because underneath all the controversy, the Luce is a genuinely impressive piece of engineering. The powertrain is a quad-motor setup producing 1,500 horsepower. It does 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Top speed is 193 miles per hour. These are not soft numbers. They are hypercar numbers, and they are real. The interior received significant praise from reviewers. It's clean, elegant, and surprisingly restrained. A well-designed steering wheel, physical buttons rather than an overwhelming touchscreen, and a layout that feels more like a cockpit than a tech demo. In a world where many luxury interiors are drowning in screens and menus, Ferrari's approach here is genuinely refreshing. The exterior, however, is a different story. CarWow, one of the largest and most watched automotive channels in the world, gave an extensive and honest review of the Luce. Their take on the styling was measured but critical, and they pointed to the rear of the car as the most controversial angle. More significantly, they noted something the automotive world was watching closely. When Ferrari revealed the Luce, the company's stock price didn't just dip. It dropped over 7%. More than $3 billion was wiped from Ferrari's market valuation in a single day. That is not a normal reaction to a product launch. That is the market expressing genuine concern. Mark McCann, who many of you will know from his ongoing Bugatti Veyron story, hosted a live reaction to the loose with luxury car specialist Carl Hartley. Carl, who deals in some of the most exclusive and expensive vehicles in the world, did not hold back. His immediate response: "How do you mess up a car in an astronomical way like this?" Carl went further, saying the design was so far from what he expected that he genuinely questioned whether the whole thing might be an elaborate publicity stunt, that it couldn't possibly be a real production Ferrari. When the price was revealed, his reaction landed just as hard. At $474,000, Carl said plainly that he would rather walk to his destination than be seen driving it. Then someone in the live chat posted a comment that stopped the conversation cold. "Now Jaguar doesn't look so bad." Think about that. Jaguar released a controversial electric concept not long ago and was roasted relentlessly for it. The Ferrari Luce has now entered the conversation as a point of comparison, and Jaguar isn't the one coming off worse. One of the more nuanced observations to come out of the reaction is this: the Luce gets its priorities backwards. The interior is warm, retro, almost classic in its sensibility. The exterior is cold, futuristic, and polarizing. Most Ferrari buyers, most car buyers at this price point, would have wanted exactly the reverse. A bold, driver-focused interior wrapped in something that still looks unmistakably, proudly Ferrari from the outside. Ferrari built the opposite, and that inversion is a significant part of why the reaction has been so strong. A few details about the Luce that are worth knowing. It is the largest car Ferrari has ever produced, longer than an Audi Q8 and wider than many urban roads were designed to accommodate. Ferrari has been explicit about who this car is for. Not for longtime Ferrari collectors. Not for tifosi. Not for the petrolhead who has been saving for a Ferrari their entire adult life. The Luce is aimed at a new type of customer. Young tech entrepreneurs, Silicon Valley wealth, buyers who associate luxury and technology with status as much as performance. It is priced at $474,000, more than $100,000 above the Ferrari Purosang, and more expensive than a Rolls-Royce Spectre. Ferrari has framed the Luce as an entirely separate product category. Not a replacement for anything. A new lane. A new customer. A new version of what a Ferrari can be. So why did they do it? The honest answer is a combination of regulatory pressure and deliberate market expansion. Emissions legislation across Europe, the UK, and major global markets is tightening in ways that will make internal combustion increasingly difficult to sustain across an entire range. Ferrari is also aware that the pool of wealthy buyers is changing, that there are people with significant money who simply do not connect with the traditional Ferrari identity, and that those people represent a real commercial opportunity. Ferrari believes the Luce can reach buyers who would never have considered the brand before. Whether that bet pays off is another question entirely. Here is where things stand. The performance numbers are real. The technology is advanced. The interior is genuinely well executed. But the exterior has failed to connect with most of the people who care most about Ferrari, and that's not a small group. Ferrari built a car that its own legend makers don't want to be associated with. It was designed by people from outside the automotive world. It targets a customer base that Ferrari's core audience doesn't identify with. And it's priced at nearly $500,000. That's not a product launch. That's a statement about what Ferrari thinks its future looks like. And the automotive world, from former executives, to rival manufacturers, to enthusiasts watching live reactions, is pushing back hard. Whether Ferrari is right or wrong, we won't know for years. The Luce will reach real roads and real buyers, and the debate about what Ferrari truly stands for will only intensify from here. So, is the Ferrari Luce a smart move into new territory, or has Ferrari just made one of the biggest miscalculations in its history? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you land on this one.